I'm Dan Hall, local Boston comedian, and you're listening to 20TIMinutes with Tim McCarthy.
What is going on, potty people? Where is the fiesta at? It's right here. It is your friendly neighborhood podcaster, Tim McCarthy, on another episode of, you guessed it, 20TIMinutes. A 20-minute podcast that focuses on mental health. That introduction was by Boston comedian Dan Hall. Super funny guy. Met him when I tried stand-up a couple times. Wasn't really for me. He's been doing a lot of little TikTok and Instagram videos. He's super funny, so give him a follow on Puke Night Dan. That'd be at Puke Night Dan. Just the way it's spelled. He'll give you a couple laughs, giggles, and maybe even make you cry, but I don't think so. I like getting people I like that to do introductions, especially when it has like positivity behind it. So I always stand by the people that do the introductions. I just don't have anyone willy-nilly do them. Like, I go out and seek people to do it, especially friends, because I want to help out my friends. That's what I'm all about. So anything like I promote, I'm all in on. Like the company that does my stickers, Vinyl Disorder, I've been chatting up with them a little bit, and they are the best. They have the best customer service I've ever dealt with. Like I always say, if the product is okay, but the customer service is great, I'll take it. But the best thing is, their product's great too. So I'm waiting on my new stickers, the same stickers, but a restock of them because they went like hotcakes. And I've never bought a hotcake before, so I don't know how those go so quick. I also got 2 extra stickers on my dog's face, so I'll definitely throw a couple on those for people that have been waiting. So I do apologize. But if you're in the market for stickers, go to Vinyl Disorder. They have like a 60% off like deal. Like instead of buying your little wedding koozies that cost like $1 million, just buy one koozie and put a sticker on it. You don't have to spend that much money. Like, come on. Just figure it out. But again, thanks to Dan Hall. Thanks to Vinyl Disorder doing my stickers. You guys are the best. Both of you. Love you. I did not want to do this episode today. I was going to do it yesterday and the day before, and then I'm doing it now like an hour before work. And this whole week has just been fucking brutal. I don't know what it is. My mood hasn't really fluctuated too much, but it's definitely brought me down very much so that I'm getting very agitated and angry about certain things, and my fuse is very short. I know it's usually my fault for a lot of things, but I know it's not. I think it's one of those, like, it's gonna be one of those days, even though like that's a crock of shit, because you don't have to have one of those days. You can, that's just you telling yourself you can have one of those days. Like, there's no reason that you can't turn that around, but I don't care. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just keep piling this on. Because, like, what kind of deal is it? It's like, oh, just one of those days. Like, how? Like, what? Like, who's doing that? Like, no one's making that up. That's you. And that's me right now. And I've just been super frustrated. I didn't want to do this, but I've always said that I'm going to do this whether I feel good, bad, happy, sad. Because I need to stick by it. I need to keep pushing this podcast forward, which is my goal, to help other people. So I'm not always going to be happy. I'm not really happy right now. I'm very anxious. I kind of just went into this, didn't even prepare. I just hit record, went with it. See what happens. We'll just see. This is the raw, uncut Tim McCarthy of 20TIMinutes. I know what it is too. I think drinking is a big thing that I decided that I'm going to cut it out indefinitely. Definitely for the month of February. It's always just like a negative for me. And like, again, I don't have like problems drinking, but I need to start like taking care of my body, which is like the step up to my brain. And I got to take care of my brain. And I just don't like being out of shape. I go to the gym, not as much as I want to. And I think that goes with why I've been so angry is I can't get into a schedule. It's just one of those weeks, you know? And I hate when things don't go my way. I've been very open about that. And it's such like a baby thing to do. Like, I didn't get my way. But when it's something that is positive and tries to make my life better and I can't do it, that's when it really drags me down. Like this whole COVID thing sucks, man. I just absolutely hate it. I can't do anything. I was talking to my buddy Kyle, and we were just like reminiscing, and we were like, oh, I can't wait to hang out again. And I was like, don't know when that's going to be, but my thumbs hurt from chatting with everybody online, between Twitter, Instagram, everything. My thumbs are killing me, but I love it because people keep me sane. I appreciate everybody. But yeah, I'm going to stick to not drinking for a while, definitely through the month of February. And just try to get out of this funk, try to find other things to do. So I'm actually feeling a little bit better doing this podcast right now because I had to pull myself out and get this going. I put my hat on I haven't worn in a while, my USA hat. I'm ready to go. Feeling good. I think another thing that's driving me crazy is the snow that's coming. We have like a huge storm that's happening now while you're listening to this. Hopefully I'm still alive because I have to drive into work when it's like 2 inches per minute. So pray for your boy. So I'm coming up on, I'm getting featured on a couple of podcasts coming up. Like I always said, the people on like Twitter and stuff I've been linking up with. A lot of true crime, a lot of paranormal, a lot of movies, video game podcasts, which is good. There's a couple like mental health ones that I'm trying to round up and talk with them and try to work with them a little bit. So one podcast reached out to me. It's called Sober Highway. It's actually about sobriety, and they want to get my take on everything. So it's kind of works out now, especially that if I'm not drinking. And then Paranormal Burrito. That guy's great. He does a paranormal, obviously, podcast, and he wants to get me on. I've never really had a paranormal episode or anything. I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like if I went to a seance with like a goat head cut off, I'd be like, I'm good. Like I believe it if it happened, but if it didn't, I'd be like, yeah, I'm indifferent about the both. So we're gonna go on that with me and Lindsay because Lindsay has a lot of signs from her sister. So I'm excited to talk to him about that. But also a listener of mine, Jong, I think I'm saying that right, from South Korea. This is my guy right here. We've been chatting off and on, and he asked to Zoom with me to pick my brain about like depression and mental health and stuff. And we had like almost like an hour conversation just about it. And he was just a really good kid. We had a lot of similarities with everything. I think he's around 26. And we had just had a lot of the same common feelings and stuff. And I was really appreciative that he asked me and so forth from him that I took my time to speak with him. But like, I'm 35. Like, when I grew up, I watched the internet get invented. I had AOL 1.0. You know how long it took me to download a JPEG of Sable from WWF? Forever. Now I'm talking to fans. I wouldn't even say fans. I don't have fans. I have listeners in South Korea. Like, that's friggin' awesome. I didn't know they had a draft over there. He's like, oh, I got drafted. I'm like, what? They do that? Again, I'm not smart. People probably know that. I didn't. Learn something new every day. But shout out to Jong, Jong, Jong. I'm not good. I am not smart at names. But thank you again, Jong. And I'll keep an eye out for other podcasts I'm going to be on and let you guys know. Very excited about that. So recently, I was talking with my mom, and this is a story that dates back to when I was very young. I think I might have mentioned it when I was young. I used to have seizures. I think I had like one or two. So when I was 18 months, I had a seizure, and my mom couldn't really handle it. Like, I think she just kind of lost what's going on, was in a panic. I feel like that would happen to anybody. So my landlord at the time, he helped me out. Like, he's the one who took me and drove me and my mom to the hospital. Obviously, I don't remember. I was only 18 months. I hate when people do that. Like, oh, how old's your kid? Oh, he's 57 months. Like, I don't have a calculator on me. Well, I do on my iPhone, but I'm not bringing it out, all right? How old is he? In years and some change. So he brought me there, and spoiler alert, I survived. They don't really know what caused the seizures. I don't know what the long-term effects are, but here I am. So he was a Boston police detective for a long time, and so he was our landlord as well. And then he went over to priesthood and became a priest. He's actually, I think he's featured on one of those Netflix documentaries. Like, no, he's not featured in it, but he's like one of the priests in the scenes. But he's a really good guy, and I actually was thinking about him recently, and I looked him up. Me and my mom found him. He is retired from the church life. Again, I'm not big with, I grew up Catholic, but I don't really follow it anymore, but I respect it. So I've been trying to reach out to him to see if he remembers that. And it's wicked funny because he's at this, like, not an old folks home, but a place that has like all retired priests that live there. And I've called like 4 times now. And the girl, it's the same girl every time. I'm like, hey, it's me again. Can I just talk to Father White real quick? And she puts me up there, like doesn't even ask questions. She just transfers me to him. But he hasn't picked up yet. He doesn't have a voicemail. So about the 4th time I called her, I was like, hey, can you leave a message for me? You don't have to tell him much. Just be like, someone from his past is just looking to talk to you. Probably should have opened up, because if he's a former detective, it could be like a ex-criminal that's trying to get in touch with him or something. But I've been waiting to hear from him. I haven't heard from him yet, so I'm going to call him again. But it was just one of those things. I wanted to thank him. I know he's not getting any younger, and I think he's having some medical problems. But when I reflected on that, it like hit me in the feels a lot, because there was like times in my life that I like didn't want to be alive, and there's a lot of things I shouldn't be here for. Like I had seizures as a kid. I almost drowned as a kid. I like just walked into a pool. I was like, oh, there we go. I think I was like 5. And then just as like think about like surviving that stuff, like I don't remember any of it, obviously. But then to grow up and be like, oh, I can't wait to just fucking die. It's kind of like a spit in the face to him almost. It's like, oh, that guy like pretty much saved my life, and I grow up and I'm like, you know what? Fuck life. I don't care if I drive off this cliff right now. So I wanted to reach out to him and say thanks, and maybe even get a prayer out of him. Again, prayers are free. I'll take it. I'm not religious. I don't really get into it, but if they're positive and it's uplifting, I'll take it. And if it's free, I'll take it. I love things that are free. If it's free, give me 3. Ha ha. No one's going to get that reference but Jay. So yeah, I'm very excited to hopefully hear from him. Hopefully I hear from him soon. If not, I'm going to call again and annoy that woman that's very nice to me. Her name is Melissa. So yeah, I almost got like choked up there for a second talking about that. There's going to be one of these episodes I like profusely cry on. Just giving you guys a heads up. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to happen. So I always had this like idea in my head about this podcast where I needed like a certain theme every episode, but then I'm like, why? Like, why do I need to do that? I should just talk about how I feel like I am today. So like I still want to talk about the ADHD, and there's always stories I miss the next day when my wife Lindsay's like, oh, you should have talked about this. My ADD is so bad that I got through high school because of my personality. My best friend Duff, that did the introduction for one of my episodes, I just drove him crazy. I was like, hey man, can you just like give me the answers? Like I never let anyone pay attention in class. I always had to like have a little comment here and there. So me and Lindsay took sign language classes not too long ago. And funny enough that she did a symbol with like her hand. It was like the shaka symbol. And she did this. She's like, oh, that means emotion. And then she took both hands and went up and down her like torso. She's like, anyone know what that means? Yes, that means bipolar. And I was like, this bitch know me? And so Lindsay realized I didn't take my medication that day. And I kept on like just talking in her ear during the sign language course. And obviously everyone's dead quiet. She was not happy. I think sign language is awesome. It's so cool. When I was a kid, I remember being at Wendy's with my mom. I had to be like under 10. And I was waiting in line. I looked over, and there was these 2 people doing sign language while they were eating. Deaf people, or the people that do sign language, are the only people that can talk with their mouth full. And that blew my mind as a kid. That was like my first revelation of like, whoa, I just figured something out. So I've always been intrigued by sign language, but I can do the alphabet a little bit. I forget all of the stuff, but I remember K and P look like gang signs, and I was a big fan of those. So the podcast is doing well. I'm actually, I was trying to get nominated for this little award. It's like the Sim Hop. I forget. It's like, I forget what it's called, but I'll post it. That's how bad it is. Hopefully they don't hear me talking about it. It's like a weird acronym. I forget. It's like Self-Made Indie Podcast Association. SIMPA? It looks like Simps, but it's not. So there's a lot of categories in there, and I'm just trying to get my podcast out there to help many people. I don't care if like I get famous or the podcast gets famous or I don't get 1 million listeners. I want to just help at least 1 or 2 people or 1 million people, whatever it is. I just want people to relate. Again, I'm not some professional, anything like that. So if you go to my little link tree and my little bios on all my Instagrams, Twitters, you'll be able to find it. I'll obviously post it, but they got back to me. They're like, hey, you're getting a lot of nominations. You don't need any more because voting's going to start soon. So I'm going to need people to vote, and I want people that actually listen to vote because there's certain categories that they have, and I just don't want people just clicking and being like, yeah, he's the man. No one would write that, but you know what I mean. So I'd really appreciate if you guys did that. Yeah, the whole like Instagram stuff of like, I follow so many like meme accounts about mental health, and some of them are really good. Like my friends from Love Brain, they do a great job about it because they don't give you like professional advice. They just tell you little things. And then I see these things where it's like they give you medical advice or like tips what to do that might not work for you. And then I think of like a 16-year-old girl that's like trying to figure out her mental health, and then she takes these tips and it might not work for her, it might make it worse. And then I saw like a comment from some random account that claimed that she had like a PhD in psychology. And I like looked through her page. I'm like, there's no way any normal psychologist would post these awful memes that were made by like MS Paint. I wanted to message her so bad, but I didn't, because you know how your boy gets. That's another thing. People don't like talk shit to me, but when I look for people to want to listen to my podcast, they'll say stuff back. And I'm always like, just because a guy does a mental health podcast doesn't mean he can't start some shit, okay? Like, I'm about positivity and everything, but if you're going to come at me, I'm not letting you push me around. That's the one thing. I will snap back at you. That's why my spirit animal is that of a house cat. You put me in a corner, I'm going to claw your eyes out. Then I'm going to scurry away and go take a nap. That's my life. I also got constructive criticism from a random person. I'm in this mental health Facebook group, and I like shamelessly promoted my podcast. And he's very nice. I didn't have one of those moments where I was like talking shit. But he gave me constructive criticism, and I took it. I just didn't take it to heart. He was like telling me pretty much like to focus more and use it as therapy, which I do use it as therapy. But you guys know me. I like being myself, and if I focus only on 2 topics without going off the rails a little bit, I wouldn't feel right. I wouldn't be myself. And he took that fine back. It was like a normal conversation. You know how people get bitter when like you like try to be nice to them and they like don't give you the reaction that they want? It was just good to have a normal conversation with somebody, and I appreciate it that he took the time. He like took notes and shit. People, people that listen to this podcast like straight up blow my mind. It is so cool. Like Jong, South Korea, I'm sending him stickers. That's my guy. I got some OG 20TIMinute fans that I'm not going to forget, all right? You guys are rocking with me until the wheels fall off or till the laptop breaks. I love talking with you guys. I really do. This is like my therapy between my therapist. Oh, my therapist, by the way, she finally listened to the podcast. She's so funny. She had a blast listening to everything, and she's very proud of me and the way it sounds. So it's really nice to hear that from her. I love making her laugh because I saw this meme, and me and her do it. It's like at the end of Zoom calls, you wave, and it was a meme. It's like people at the end of Zoom calls wave like they're waving to the Titanic, and everyone's like, all right, bye, see ya. And we don't wave on FaceTime on the iPhone. We're not like, hey, all right, bye. We're just like, yeah, see you later, click. But that was nice of her to say so many things to me. So again, 20TIMinutes, episode 12. Yeah, episode 12. I don't know what I'm going to call this one yet. If you don't notice, I don't name my episodes until after the podcast. I'll listen and think of like a word. I'm like, association. Boom. Episode 12. Thank you to Dan Hall for that lovely introduction. His blooper reel I did for Instagram and everything. Really funny. Oh, by the way, my app is out. I'm doing a t-shirt giveaway. These are limited edition t-shirts. One time. I'm not making this design ever again. I have a contest. If you download my app, 20TIMinutes, sign up for an account. I'm not going to sell your information. I'm not going to spam you. I just need downloads. So when I'm looking to get money from real sponsors, I can be like, hey guys, look, I got real numbers here. So download that. Contest is going to end Thursday. Next day, I'm going to put the pre-orders out for the t-shirts. Hopefully everyone buys them. I got to figure out the math equation of it. Portion of the sales I'm going to donate to the Plymouth Suicide Prevention. God damn it, I don't remember any names, but this great organization down in Plymouth that helps with suicide awareness. So I'm talking to them right now. So download the 20TIMinutes app. You're going to buy a shirt when they come out. I'll ship it to you, depending on where you are. I'm doing this all by myself, so I do appreciate it. So I'll put that up soon. I know it's 20 minutes. I'm trying so hard not to go over 20 minutes anymore. Movie suggestion, Goon, Sean William Scott, Jay Baruchel, on Netflix. There is a sequel. If you like hockey, you like having fun, laughing, go watch the Goon. There is a great scene in that with the goalie and Percocets. So if you watch it and get to that scene, I laugh every time. Then, song suggestion. I'm obviously a big Beastie Boys fan, and this song was top 3 song that I listened to when I was super depressed, and it would probably make me cry the most. I never cried over any celebrity deaths, but when MCA died, I drove around I was with Lindsay. I dropped her off, and I drove around crying to listen to the Beastie Boys because I was saving up so much money to go see them, and I never got to see them, and he died, and it just bummed me out because he died of cancer like my stepfather Manny died of cancer. So that really hit me. But it's on the Hello Nasty album. It's called I Don't Know, and it was written by MCA, and it was just a song that resonated with me through that whole time, and I love that song, and it just means so much to me. So even if you never do the music or movie reviews, you don't really listen to me, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. It's like when you say, hey, tell Tim I said hi. I'm like, okay. But if you do anything for me, go listen to that song, Beastie Boys, I Don't Know. That song is up there for me. I thank you guys. Tim McCarthy here, episode 12. Thank you for listening. Please follow me on all social media. 20TIMinutes, 20TIMinutes. You'll find me. Come say hello. Come chat with me. I'm always awake. I have slept for 2 hours today. Thank you for coming to me. This is where the party at. Every Tuesday, 20TIMinutes. Go have yourself a great week. And if you can, and you're allowed to, give someone a big hug. And if you ever see me in the streets, come give me a big hug. I love you guys. Have a good one. Fuck. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.